And then this is an instructor training on the session too, but I just need to make sure it's there. Um, um, and actually, I'm going to pull it up here really quick. I think it's really important to tell them what they're doing to go ahead, and I walk them through it, right? So I'll pull people up to triple R, triple R247.com/triple R. And when in doubt, they should go here. I tell them that, but also right down here is the PBS setup, which you guys, I'm going to have to redo this on a marathon because we've eliminated probably 6 hours of that. And then they go to step 3, which is the categories. Step 4 is adding additional things. So let me go back to that. And that's where they're adding more pages, right? Oops. And response magic is step 5. And then step 6, link post ads. And these are all important to do in order, and they need to be stressed that, right? Link 7 is Google AdSense. Okay, and then they go to step 7. Step 8, and forward, we don't want to do anything if they can't, step 8 is if they can't get Google AdSense. And this is for somebody that's already been blacklisted from some other program they did. Unfortunately, this happens. It's rare, but if they have, then we have this other step. Step 8, I'm hoping that nobody ever has to do, but those that need it, it's there. And then step 9, this stuff right here, if you don't have Google AdSense yet and you start doing this, you may never get Google AdSense because this needs to happen after that. And that's why if they skip ahead of this, like when you start submitting to search engines, after you get Google AdSense, it works better. If you do it before, this can be related to, it could indicate bot traffic and things that'll just block you. And so you got to be really, really careful. And I recommend the ones that I know that work. If you're doing things, and like, here's the thing, if they go here and they start doing things that aren't on here and they're doing other things that creates traffic, if it's automated traffic, if the word automated's there, that means bots. Bot traffic will get you kicked off Google AdSense. So we want to be really careful what we do, and we want to get listed on directories. We don't want any automated traffic, okay? And this is something I need to stress because it's been coming up, and we've had some people lose from this, and so we got to be really careful. And so I don't. If it's not in here, ask questions before you do it. Okay, there might be some new system that comes out tomorrow. I'd rather check it, vet it out before we go do it, because if you lose your ability for Google AdSense, it's going to feel catastrophic. Yes, it's just one income stream, but it's a fun one. Okay, then we go through here to do all the other stuff on the rest of the steps. That's how we go through it. And section 2 is going to show them how they complete their PBS. So you want to show all that, right? I'll put that here. Okay, I'm going to start getting the nitty gritty here, guys. I know I've covered this. I mean, this shouldn't be new to anybody that's been around for a bit, but I'm going to be simplifying some things and removing some friction points. And that's the development that we have today, right? And going forward. And these are all things I've already proven out for several weeks now. And now I want to make sure I roll it out to everyone. That's just how I do it, right? The same way I'll perfect a presentation on a offer page for a project that we're working on. I test everything out first and prove it out before I roll it out to everybody. And then, but I want to roll it out as soon as possible. That's what we're doing today, because it's all done. And I want to make sure I'm very methodical in this and not just talk about it, but do the notes for you so you guys can review it over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. And understanding it is key. Not everybody's going to be doing all the instructing and training you're going to be participating in. That's what I'm going to be spelling out today. So just bear with this. Some people think, I never want to be an instructor. I can't do all that. That's fine. You will be connecting instructors on this process and adding them to your team. Every element of success that we have is available to everybody. Just there's different ways we can make that happen and participate in it, not even at 100%. Okay, and that's where the friction points have been removed. I'm going to get there. I'll add in some more stuff on here. I mean, I like the spacing that did. Did that do that above too? It didn't. Okay, that's gonna bug me. Hold on. Okay. Got one more there. All right. So everybody has a PBS, and I'll put that in. PBS has 3 legs of marketing. These are the initial 3, right? Content, SEO marketing, link, posting, and ad placements online, growing. I'll put that there. And then social media. Okay, there's those 3. Then we add in paid marketing. And it's good to explain it to everybody and have them understand the points, right? Like we want to tell them where they're going. And I stress what they're doing over and over and over again. So in session 1, I let them know, hey, you're gonna be doing 4 sessions with me. Okay. And when they get to session 2, and if they completed session 2, when I go to session 3, I do a screen share with them and I pull up their Trello card. So I'm going to talk about this really quick. Do a screen share. showing the checklist of what is needed to get them fully aware and participating. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is some key things I'm going to be covering here. Super important, and I'm going to finish it off today because it's that important, and then I'll get on to the other stuff. But here, I'm going to do the points and clean up my spacing. Okay, so I'm going to do a recap. I'm going to do a recap of everything as far as the process, and I'll continue to smooth this out just so it's easier for everybody. When you become an instructor, we walk you through how to do the flow by doing it with you. I like everybody's personality being added to it, but there's key elements that need to happen. Okay. And so we're gonna be teaching those, but I want everybody to understand where the friction points are going to be removed. So let me start with that. We had a hard time getting people to get their PBSs done. We had way more content in there than a lot of people were stomaching. I listened, I adapted, and I created separate templates. So I went from giving everybody my latest, greatest of everything I do to where I really create my guinea pig, my testing system on rory3.com. And then I had the basics that people need on Home with Tanya for our standard students, homewithtanya.com, and then 1f16.com is our VIP system. Those are not being added to all the time. They have exactly what we need to get Google AdSense and complete, everything that we need to have a successful beginning point with a performance blogging system that is out there ready to produce incomes. And this gives them like 70 or so pages to modify. I think 34, 36 of them are category pages, and half of those are category pages than just the all things. So it literally reduces it down to like 25 pages they got to modify, which is the least amount we've ever had. And we're proving that alone is enough to get Google AdSense in the process that we have. And so we have a great entry level and something that people can literally knock out in a single Saturday now. But they can modify their entire system in a weekend, and then add some other content, sure, learn how to do all that, sure, post ads, get response magic, and apply for Google AdSense. And if they follow the steps exactly and with the instruction and oversight of an instructor, we're getting people to get Google AdSense quicker than we ever have. When a student has Google AdSense, they start seeing proof. And this is the thing, right? I mean, the broke mentality wants proof, and the wealthy mentality wants opportunity. But when you cross over and give proof to those who are looking for opportunity, it's a major win. And when you give those that really want the proof because that's what their environment's been teaching them and it's been holding them back, we can help them overcome and push through. And it's one of those things, like, it's really hard to accomplish, but we've done it by simplifying and lots of effort by our incredible leadership. It's been a path to get here. It's been a journey. It's also been a goal, right? And we've achieved it just by listening and going through it. And like a lot of things, I had to like really look at the roots of the issues we want to solve and figure out what I'm missing to get there. And with a lot of help and direction, with everybody pouring into this and a lot of comments back and forth and trial and error, we got it figured out. So the number one thing is getting that PBS simpler. It's as simple as it's ever been. I don't dare go any more simpler for those that want, like those that say, why can't it just be 10 pages? They just don't understand, right? They don't know what they don't know. We needed to have enough content on there so it looks like a complete system, not just something that's being constructed. Google wants to see the content, and where things are at now, it might change. If it changes and adapts, so will we. Right now, everybody gets, the least amount that I feel comfortable with to get them modifying those pages. And even if they don't add additional pages, if they do everything else right, they should be able to get Google AdSense. But just following the steps. Now, I do want them adding other pages. I want them getting used to building their own content. By the time they've modified those pages, they're pretty much ready to modify, create, and develop more pages. And if they're doing that, and at that stage, they're adding additional content that they're the author of, and they're setting themselves up a little bit more as unique, which we want to do. Now, we want to be unique, but we don't want to lose the consensus ability of what we have. That all comes in the look and feel. The content itself can change. The images don't need to change, and the presentation videos don't need to change. The content around them does. Just keep stressing it. So in session one, we give them a really good understanding of who we are, how we work with them, and what to expect. Expectations and setting expectations is amazing. We want to really always strive for the following: under promise, over deliver. Okay. Every time they go through stuff, it gets better and better and better. Okay. And that's how it needs to be. I actually forgot some stuff that's in here, so I'm gonna add it as I go through. Session 1, you're gonna definitely go through these steps, right? You're gonna cover these items in here. And if you have this look at, make sure you're covering it. It'll help you when you do the actual instructor training. You get access to the scripts and how we say things, but you're gonna have the things to add in your own words and make sure you comment on. That's what this is. This is an addendum to that. It's also covering the stuff that I cover. And the more you get into that. Now, if they've read my book and you're reiterating the law of marketing, it helps. They've read it. And I cover the law of marketing even in the BRT from time to time if they haven't read my book. But again, I'm going to stress a few things here. If they've done the BRT and they're in the Keystone presentation, they need to read my book before you do session 1. If you go into session 1 without them reading my book, you have literally set yourself up with the most amount of work possible, because you're going to have to educate them on things that are in the book. The book it's in print. It is authored by me. It has credibility. And not only that, but they have it to read and understand at their pace. And that is going to get them set up on all the different methods of marketing and everything else that we have. And it's going to give them the terminology. So when you're speaking to them and the terminology that we have, they'll be able to understand it. Okay. The biggest part of communication is getting everybody to where they can communicate and understand. And even though we're all speaking English, we have our own terminology that people don't know. And if you don't know the word or the definition, people get confused and they don't learn. So that book is very critical. This is one of the biggest things I've heard a lot of our instructors say once they started doing this, things started working way better. Well, yeah, because they have the information to make a decision. That book is marketing by itself. The book Marketing is Freedom is a marketing medium, right? My whole storyline, everything in that book is me doing what I do best. It's my craft. It's proper marketing. It makes sales order taking. They're buying into what we do and how it works. It is one of my best pieces of marketing I've ever done, and it took me a long time to get it done, and I'm so glad we have it, but that's what it is. Use it. It does the heavy lifting. All the presentation pieces, all the marketing items I give you guys are for a purpose. Right? There's a method to madness on everything. It's all thought out. There's no busy work here. It's done to a system and processes that work. Duplication happens when you duplicate successful things. All right. And while I don't want you guys going into income claims, you got to be very careful about that always. People want to know what it is. I don't like income claims because what I'm making doesn't matter what you're going to make, because are you going to do the same thing that I'm going to do? Are you going to push as much as I push? Are you going to show up as much as I show up? Because if you are, you have access to the success. If not, you're going to get something different. And my drive, my bills, my needs aren't the same as yours. Right? We all have different circumstances that we got to produce. I call it energy instead of money, but more energy to handle that. Are you willing to do the work that I'm willing to do? Okay. And that's why income claims are just, they're ridiculous. That being said, we know that this process can make hundreds, thousands. I tell everybody, this generates more than $1 million a year for what Tanya and I do with it, which is the exact same access everybody has access to. You can make more than $1 million a year net to pocket above overhead with this system. And that's something I wanted to add in. So I'm going to go to session 1 and I'm going to go into session 2. And sometimes, as far as an instructor and you're working with somebody, it comes up, right? We have the conversation about business expenses and write-offs and being a professional business person. These are things we cover in instructor training, but it's really important that they understand a few things. And I'm going to go into that right here. I always say what they are. Wine ambassador building. I don't just say, I actually say what they are, right? Just stressing it all the time. So I'm going to fix that. This is one of the biggest things that we have that I don't think people understand enough. And so we need to self-promote it. Like we have a business, and I'm going to even stress it out. Plus, with 3 customers in Wine Ambassador, our overhead is reduced or even eliminated. Okay, so I'm going to stress what this is. The reason we set the businesses up the way they are, where there's a minimum business volume required, is because that allows us to write it off. If it's required in order to get the compensation, it has a clear and concise method for being able to be written off against our income. There's a method to everything, guys. And you know, wine has it, Velveeta has it, you know, other anchors, you know, they have it, but we don't really have too many costs to run a business. And that's what, this is where the broke mentality and the wealthy mentality, we got to educate and explain and empower them to understand. And you look at it, you know, the way it fell into place, we have incredible anchors. They're relevant. They work with what we do. And if people just apply and start generating the right activities, we have such a huge potential and success that it starts generating revenue. And this is where the session 3 gets really, really, really important. So I've covered this. I'm gonna come down here to session 3. When they're doing the VMarketing with our setting and presenting process, we set everybody up to set. I don't care if they think they can be an instructor right away. They need to learn by doing every step along the way so they can teach others when they repeat it, right? This is all about being successful and paying it forward to others, all right? I even stress that in session 1. I'm going to go in here really quick. Okay, I'm going to stress this. When I do session one and I'm talking to them, and if I haven't, and I cover it in the BRT, and I usually cover it again, just say, hey, remember, we're going to pay it forward to you. We're going to pour into you, but we expect you, like say, and everybody wants to know what the catch is, right? I always explain that it's too good to be true. Like everybody thinks what we have is too good to be true, but that's what we do, right? It's all based on logic and truth. I actually like to cover that too. So I'll put that here. Type E. Okay, and they're going to be going through that training and the steps anyway when they come up to it. But it's, guys, we got to self-promote this stuff because the world sucks. And we make it better here, but they need to know or else they're not going to expect it. And I cover these key elements when I talk to somebody, okay? And this is stuff that you guys need to understand and go through, and this is stuff that the instructor is doing. Instructors do session one, session two, and then they need help in session 3 and 4 with the team, okay? So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to go through it from session 3 now, okay? VMARKETING is where every one of our students can gain success, see proof faster. So we get a student, we do the BRT, we show them the Keystone video, they get into PBS, and then we have them read my book if they haven't read it already. We do session 1. Session 1, we set the boundaries, we explain how we're going to communicate, we show them how the PBS functions and the menus and the homepage and the posts, and we explain, how the marketing done properly it makes sales order taking. They get to see the perfect example of it, which is one of my best examples. They've already gone through my book, which is to me my best one, and then that wine one is amazing. Okay, like wine, you guys, I'm going to do a little bit of self promotion here, just so you guys realize. That wine presentation is 30 minutes long. People watch the whole thing. It does something that is really hard for people to do. It explains why our wine versus other wines, gives enough education people can buy in, and answers objections and questions so they're ready to go. But not only that, but I cover both it as a customer and as being an ambassador. I doubled up on it in one presentation, okay? I'm gonna tell you, it is a definite gift I have to do that. Use it, all right? If anybody thinks it's too short or too long, I never hear anybody tell me it's too short. It covers everything enough. They know exactly how things operate. They know about our harvest event. They know about the awesome experience we represent. They know how to get there. They know the different levels of upgrades. They know what it takes to get in. They know the $50 a year annual fee. I've handled all the heavy lifting in that presentation. It can't be done shorter. and achieve what it needs to achieve. So if anybody wants to make it shorter, it's good. I'm going to tell you this, it doesn't. Follow the system. Do what Rory does, get what Rory gets. If you wanted to have a shorter version of that 30-minute message, you do not understand the work that it's doing. It does more in 30 minutes than you could do in hours trying to explain it yourself, myself included. That presentation is done. I use that presentation. I don't reiterate it. It's perfect. It's perfect for what it needs to do in that 30 minutes. I'm going to tell you, in all my experiences of doing the development and marketing that I do, every time someone's tried to reinvent the process of the presentation, they've failed. I'm not saying that they're not capable of doing it. I'm just saying I've never seen anybody else do it like I do it. Never, never. It's a gift. It is an absolute talent that I have. And the best part about what we have here as a PBS is if it works for me, it'll work for you. So if I create and I use my talents to create a presentation that delivers the marketing so that sales becomes order taking, you just get to copy it and run with it. You don't need to reinvent it. You just got to change the verbiage around the content marketing we do around it. That's it. That needs to be explained over and over again to the new students coming in so they realize it. You know, I've had several instructors come to me over the years, and even when my presentation on previous things was 17 minutes or 20, and they've always said, can we make it shorter? And all it tells me is they're missing the element of marketing that's happening. There is timing and sequence and psychology that's happening that they are not understanding. And they don't, and the good thing is you really don't need to understand it, right? You just need to use it. You just need to trust that this is part of the system and just follow it. If you reinvent any aspect of what I've given you, you're not going to get what I get. You're not. You're not doing the ABCs. You're doing something else. And this is for everybody. This is from students to instructors and leaders here. This is how it goes, okay? And you guys, I'm constantly working to perfect, right? Make progress, make things easy. You get rid of friction points. But I also know what's good enough is good enough. Go to market. If I would have waited until everything was just as it needed to be, we would have never had students here in Triple R 247. We wouldn't even be talking right now. We make things better as we go forward. And it's not something that everybody needs to learn to understand. I haven't been able to teach anybody how to do the marketing and presentation stuff that I do. I haven't. I've tried. There's a reason why I generate leads better than anybody. There's a reason I generate stuff better than others. There's a reason. It's talents that I have. We all have special gifts and talents. This just happens to be mine. And I get to take it and share it with everybody that'll follow it. You don't need to create your own presentations. And if you do, great. If it works, fantastic. I want to see it too. Love it. But this is something that people can go on based on what's already proven, modify the copy, modify the verbiage, take advantage of the content and SEO marketing, but let the presentation do the heavy work. If it works for me, it works for you. You don't need to reinvent that. And I'll leave it open. If someone wants to try to do a presentation that does a better job, fine, have at it. We'll test it out. It's just, we get things down to a pretty amazing science. And that's scientific method, right? Trial and error, proving it out. I've just learned how to do it and what works. Okay. Session 3 is where we get them into VMarketing. And I'm going to show you how this is done. And I'm also going to do one more thing. I'm going to make it really simple. Pay attention. And this is what we're teaching the instructors. We get students going and modifying their PBS. And we know what? They got to get Google AdSense. They got to build on it. And it's going to take a while for that to build substantial income. It's this time. It's SEO, content, placing the ads consistently, doing all that. We want them doing that, right? But in addition, we need to start building now money and building the stuff there. And these things work together, but they're separate. PBS and everything it is separate than the VMarketing. VMarketing is going to help drive traffic the way we do things to their PBS. Sure, we have methods to do that, especially with the Grapevine system, which I'm not going to go into right now. That's more follow-up and stuff that we create from doing the prospecting and working VMarketing, okay? All these things tie together, but VMarketing allows us to build teams. The bigger we build teams, the more we gain in leverage. And the sooner we do that with our students and get them involved in it, and they start seeing the proof of the income, then we handle that broken mentality thing that's hard to get over, and we can focus more on what we want them to focus on, which is the wealthy mentality. If we can help them bridge that to start changing their habits. And sometimes getting that proof is what's necessary. And instead of saying, oh, that's too hard to do it, we got to get better. We got better. And the way it works is we get them into VMARKETING as soon as we can. So session 2, if I set session 2 up to be sometimes 2 hours or 3 hours, and I usually have a good gauge of their abilities in step 1, or session 1, the first session. And as they're going through step 1, and you'll have students that are just modifying pages already. You're like, oh, they can go. Well, I'm going to give them an extra hour in the session 2, and I'm going to start combining session 3 into it. I'm going to get them set up to win fast. I want to get myself out of their way. Okay. And the way I do that is I get them set up in Google Drives, my calendar, to add somebody to your calendar. Now, if I'm an instructor, okay, I'm going to add them to my calendar to set me up to do presentations. Okay. We might have other person or, other people we're going to have them present, set for. That's when your team is getting bigger and you have more resources. So you might put them on 2 or 3 people's calendars to set. Now I'm going to stress this. When they set the appointment, I do want them to, do a follow-up and get them on there. But if they set the appointment and I do the presentation and I do the BRT and I get them into PBS and I do sessions 1 and session 2 and usually lap them into session 3, and then I pass them over to somebody else to help train on those steps. Okay, that's a teamwork. Whoever set the appointment, I'm using their links to sign them up in Wine and their team, their links to sign them up in Bella Vita, their links in anything, it goes to them. I'm just a team member to help do the presentation, do the communication, because I'm hoping that they come in and they follow the system and they're going to start setting appointments as well. It creates an awesome positive ripple effect. And because if I'm presenting, they're in my team, I'm winning too. All right. But I learned how to do the process so I can present, so we can communicate better, because I know the person that's setting may not be able to present yet or not ready to present ever. Some people may never present, but they can be part of the teamwork involved. If I don't have to chase down people to talk to and they're just coming to me, that makes it fun for me just to keep presenting. And I'm going to hone in the presentation that I give on the power of PBS and how it works. I'm going to get better at BRT. I'm going to get better the more I do. And I'm helping the team grow. And because of the way that things are structured in the binaries, I'm getting volume credit and paid on all that volume that comes in from them and anything else they bring in. Understanding that is why we do it. There is no exception. If they set the appointment, they get the credit. Now, if they're not in Wine yet, they're not in Bella Vita yet, that's it. That isn't a way, that is not a reason not to do this. It's just a challenge. All right. And it's something that, I'm hoping that everybody sees the value, because they should just get in, make it happen. Because if they start setting appointments, they can get that income coming in. But if somebody can't do Wine yet, I'm going to take the personal, but I'm going to give them the commission to get them into Wine. That's what we do. We're going to give them a hand up. If they're not in Bella Vita yet, and you know what, they're going to lose out because they're not in the lineage there. They need to get in as soon as possible. But if they can't afford to get in, they really can't make it happen, and they can't, do a garage sale. They can't go, sell some stuff. They can't do what's necessary to make this happen. They don't understand the power of cash flow to get them out of any hole financially. Well, that's where the broken mentality. They want to see proof first before they go make these sacrifices. That's why they've been in that situation. They've learned how to be poor, and they're never going to get out of that unless we give them a hand up. So we can force that by saying, hey, do the work, get the appointments. They'll start seeing the proof, and don't be shocked. The first person you bring in, you give them that commission from Wine to get in, they go find the money to do everything. We help the broke mind see proof, and now they see this is real, things will change. But some people are in a really bad situation where they don't have the means, maybe they don't have anything else to do, and maybe they don't have anybody to help them. Worst case scenario, even the worst case scenario, if they show up and do the work, can dig out. Because they can set appointments. We do presentations. We're going to find the right people to come in, do the things we have that generates revenue that we can use to get them into the programs. And it has to be used just for that. We don't just give them the cash, go on. No, they're part of the solution 100% or not at all. We're empowering them to get out. We don't want to empower them to keep doing the same broke actions they've been doing before. This is not a job. This is an absolute business opportunity that we're educating them on and how to participate in it the same way we've already proven out. This is to create ongoing cash flow, not one-time spark pan, quick cash. This doesn't get rich quick. It's get rich smart. And so I'll just stress that so they get going on that. So here's what I do, right? Is I'm going to get them on the phone and I do session one is usually on the phone until I get them to look at their PBS, right? And I get them to watch the wine presentation. And during that 30 minutes, I send them my 3 messages, my 3 texts, or sorry, my 3 emails. PBS session number 2, the homework email, and then the conference call email, right? And I'm going to explain that to them when I'm doing their page. So after they sign up in wine, so after they get done with the wine presentation, I walk them right to sign up. I literally expect every one of them to understand how this works and why that's necessary, and they just sign up. That's why they do. And if for some reason they can't, they understand the value, why we want a wine store in our mall, they get it, and maybe they can't do it until next week. That's fine. Then I get on a screen share. This has to be done. I get on a screen share for 3 reasons. 1, they sign up for a reward. I'm going to reward them. It's a give and take. They're doing what I asked them to do, and I appreciate that. And that's something I like to point out too. So let me actually throw that in here really quick. I like to stress this. I literally tell them, like, I got 2 hours for you today in session 1. I let them know how much time they have. The more we get done today, the better, right? And when I let them know, like, when you do things and you understand it's a system and you follow, we can get a lot more done. If you're going to ask questions, that's fine, but it takes away from me helping you do other things. So the more you just follow, you understand and you trust this, we get going. I also like to point out things to them too, right? And I'm going to cover that right here. This is all true. It's all truths. It hasn't changed ever. It's how it's always been. And usually when I'm having this talks, they let you know. They'll even declare, like, no, I want to go fast. I want to do this. And if you've done the BRT properly and you know what their income needs are, this is going to ring to them. You know, I'm committing to them. I commit to all my students. You show up, I show up. You want to make X? I'll help you get there. I know how to do it. Here's how we're going to do it. I can spell it out. I also cover a couple of things here. I'm going to add one more thing. I declare how I'm going to do it. You watch it on video, that's fine. I let them know how they're going to be trained. I declare it. I communicate it out. It's good for them to know the path, right? It's a system, not a suggestion. Here's the system. I spell these things out, and this is more and more when I've been breaking down why I'm pretty much 100% success, getting someone to understand this. I wanted to portray that for instructors, but also for students to know that's what you should be understanding. Session 2, super important this session because they're going to understand how things connect when they do the homework properly, and you got to move them along, right? So you send them the things. They should be ready to get into Bella Vita. It's been explained. They understand the anchor, and the products are pretty much things that most people need, but they understand the value of it. You should expect them to get into Bella Vita. Now, again, if they can't because they financially can't yet, they're going to find a way to do it. So you're going to go as if. Remember, if they can't do wine, they can't do Bella Vita, they can't do one or the other. We build the pages as if. Don't pause. Go forward. They'll get there as soon as they can. Once they understand how everything works, we want to get them into session 3, which is VMarketing. Some of my students, I get them set up with VMarketing in session 2 because they're ready. Session 2 goes like this. I'm going to get on Google Drive. I'm going to go into the, as a leader or instructor, they'll go into here. They're going to go here to MSI PSI VMarketing team. All right. And I set one up here for Candace Gunstream. I'll set up another one just for an example. New folder, and I'll do Niall has his, and we're conforming over here. So MSI, right? And I'll go, and if it's mine, it's mine, right? But I'm working with teams, so I'll be in Niall Eddy's, and I'm going to create a new folder for the student, and we'll call it Betty Jones VMarketing. I like the M capitalized. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, that's her folder. I'm going to come here to the administration, and this is a place that everybody has access to this. Available VMarketing leads. We're going to be putting our instructors access to this, so they don't need to go through anybody to get the leads. But I'm going to tell you, when you pull the leads as an instructor and you're going to be trained how to do this, you don't copy them, you move them out of here. You're going to claim that lead file for you and your team to work. Don't make a copy of it so other people are going to step on your toes. It's got to be done the right way. I'm going to stress that over and over again. You take this file and you move it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move this into Niall. So I'm going to move this, and I'm going to move it to administration. I'm going to go right here to PSI. I'm going to go right here to Niall Eddy, and I'm literally going to move the leads right in here. Okay, so I'll go back to the leads. It's right there. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to move it. I'm not going to make a copy. I'm going to move it. And I'm going to choose where I move it to, right? I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to move it there. Yes, that file has been moved. Okay. Now I'm going to come back here. I have it opened up. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to Niall. He has leads. Okay. Now Niall needs to add stuff for Betty Jones, and Niall should already have this, but I'm going to show you where it's at. Under available marketing leads, there's lead and marketing templates. You need a template for the VMarketing leads, and then you need the script for the text that we send out. I'm going to make a copy of both. And this is what we're going to be teaching our instructors how to do. Okay. I'm going to make a copy of both, and they both say copy. I'm going to take that and I'm going to add it to Niall. So I'm working on Niall. So I'm going to hit move to. I'm going to go out of this here, and Niall Eddy. I'm going to move it here. Every instructor will be setting this up and having this. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to Niall's. I'll click here. I'll click here. I'll go to Niall Eddy. Those should be moved over there. Might take a second. And I need to create those for Betty. So I'll show you how we do that. Those should be showing up. I'll get a little bit concerned, but it does take a while sometimes. So I'm going to be patient. Maybe I didn't say move here. It's a possibility. I'll go back and do it again. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to go to available VMarketing leads. And once I have them in my folder, I have them for all my team. So this is what we do when we first set up a leaders folder. I'm going to come here. Got the copy. In the copy, I'm going to hit right click and I'm going to hit move to. And I'm going to move it. Yep, I know what I did wrong. Let me move this out of the way. Move here. Move. Yep, now they're gone. Okay, I forgot to confirm it. I'm going to go back here. Go here. I'm going to go to Niall's, and there they are. Copies. Okay. Now I'm going to fix this. I'm going to make it template. I'm going to go to this. Template's done. I can close that. I didn't mean to do that. Copy of VMarketing leads. And Niall would already have this set up there, but I'm just going to go right here and just go VMarketing leads. This is for Niall's use. He's going to have it in his main folder. Control F. I'm going to find James, hit the 3 dots and change it to Niall. Hit replace all. And then at the very bottom, it says it'll have a last name here. I'm done for the letter. I'm just going to make it Niall Eddy. Then he has a template. Everything's ready to go. Okay. Everything's ready to go with this script and the template for all the BRT stuff. Okay. For setting the BRT, for doing the VMarketing. Okay, it's all done, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and close that. I'm gonna come back to that in a second. So I have this here. So what I'm gonna do is this template. I'm literally gonna make a copy of these 2 things here. Make a copy. I'm gonna make another copy of the template. Okay, and I'm gonna move the copy and the copy of copy. And I can choose them like this. I'm going to move those 3 items into Betty Jones. The one thing I'm not going to show you on this because I'm doing a recording is we have access to VMarketing leads. As an instructor, I'll pull some of these leads and put them here. Okay. So I'm going to, and I just give them 1,000 to work on. When they get through about 500, if they've done it consistently, I'm going to move them into step 4. I'm going to move them into becoming an instructor in training and get them access to the SDs and 101 leads to set. Even if they're not presenting yet, we're going to advance them. Okay. So now I'm going to go to Betty Jones. I would copy leads into her thing, but I'm also going to leave a copy of a template in here. So I'm going to change this and just make it template. This way, when she starts bringing other people in and doing trainings, if they're her family members, right? If they're her team members that she's bringing in from the leads that she's creating and she's helping the process go, she now has a template to get them set up with leads and to share those leads. So we're going to leave a template in here for her. And this one will be her, oops. I'm going to go here. So we got template, we leave that alone. And this one that says a copy of a template, I'm just going to change it. And I'm going to get rid of the template 4, and I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to go Betty Jones VMarketing leads. So I know that's her leads, right? So I'll close that. So this will change to Betty Jones VMarketing leads. She has a template for the next one, and she has this, which is also a template. But I'm going to modify hers for her. Come down here, Control F. I'm going to find Niall. Change it to Betty. replace all. It instantly comes down here where it says Betty Eddy. Obviously, I'm gonna make it Betty Jones. And now this is ready for her to go, right? Now I can teach you how to do V-marketing, but she's set up. I've got her set up for success. And I come here and I add her and I hit share. Now, I'm not gonna share Niall's folder. I'm gonna just share her folder. And this will be for her and her team that she adds to this the same way, right? So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna say share. And I'm gonna put her email in here and then I'll share it with her as an editor so she can modify this, right? And I'll say done. She'll have access to her folder only. And then from this point forward, when she comes in here, she can go new and she can do a new folder and new student name here. And then she can make a copy and duplicate this process and she'll be able to see everything in her folder out. And then she'll add her student to see this folder out. So we don't want to, everybody doesn't need to see everybody's stuff. It gets too complicated, but we can organize using Google Docs accordingly. And that's what we're doing, right? Then the new student will have leads, the new student will have a template with their name on it and everything else. And this process just continues. Okay, so that's done. Then I go to Trello, right? And I go into Trello and we're going to be in a workspace. And I'm going to show you how to do this. Hopefully I don't show any information so this gets removed as a training video. But I'm literally going to hit create and I'm going to create a workspace. I'm going to put the workspace name in here and I'm going to follow the V-marketing steps exactly. I'm going to put the workspace name here, right? And in this way, I'll just, I could say Niall Eddy. I'll say Niall Eddy or whoever, V-marketing, team 1, V-marketing 1, 2. Workspace is going to be marketing. Description, just put for V-marketing use, right? And then you'll say continue, and then you're going to add people to the workspace menu that needs to be there. There's 9 names that need to be added. Rory Rickard, Tanya Rickard, Grayson Dorr, Garrett Dorr, Edison, Rory Rickard, Tanya Rickard, Grayson Dorr, Garrett Dorr, Edison Rickard, Winter Rickard, Titan Rickard, our admin people, Matt Uhara, and then Linda Horn, who's our key admin person with the MSIs. And the reason why we want all of us added is so that we can see when someone comes in from other marketing, because V-marketing are not student leads. V-marketing are leads that didn't become students. But we found that when we work with them, they actually want a business, then we just got to get them on the phone and talk to them. A lot of them come from more of a broken mindset, wanting proof. They weren't willing to, pay for information. It's okay. We follow up with them, we get them on the phone. They work. When we do, right? If we can't present and communicate with them, we can't get them to move forward. So that's what we're doing. The thing about it is they might sign up on their own. They might come through again as a buyer. And if you've been working with them, we want to be able to track who worked with them to assign them to you. It's all for accountability. So we make sure proper credits due and received. Okay. So there's a method for it all. And that's in the V-marketing training that's covered there. We get them added to Trello and then, you create a board. So after you create the workspace, you then create a board. And when you create the board, I'll go into Candace's. Hold on. She has several. So let me see if I found the one I did. I'll pull up one of mine. It has the different things that's in here. I've got even more set up. So what I do, I'm going to go here to boards. I'll create a new board for the new person. There's always cool things on here. Doesn't matter which one we use. I'll go like Betty Jones V-marketing. And she's part of this group, right? And this workspace has already been added. I'll hit create. That's all I care about for V-marketing. We're going to create positive responders, appointments set for specialists if we get that. And some, they never show up for the specialist, whatever it is, we move them to follow-up at some point. Some of them, we never get an appointment. Eventually we move them for follow-up, and then we add them to the grapevine system accordingly. And that's the process of e-marketing leads. And, right here, I would share this with Betty Jones and the people in here. So Betty Jones, she's not going to be in the system because I made that name up. I would click to add her, and then I would also add the other team members to this board. Okay. And everybody that knows how to do that, I'm going to create that Trello board for them. We'll do different trainings. I'm going to try to do it where it gets accepted on YouTube. But after I create the Trello board and they've got all their leads and access, then I give them the homework to go through VMarketing training. Then they're going to understand how all this stuff works and they can start doing it. But then I set an appointment. You're going to go through the VMarketing training. I'm going to go back to this now. You're going to do the VMarketing training, and we're going to do session 3 together, which is explaining what you just went through and getting you going. When I do the session 3, I'm literally going to do the VMarketing with them using their leads, usually my text now, or watching them do it. However that works out. My goal is to get them knowing how to do it and get them doing it every day. And then I'm going to follow up with them every day to see if they're doing it, right? Just send a text, are you doing it? Check in with them every couple of days if they're doing it all the time. Because if they're doing it all the time, they're setting appointments. If they're doing the prospecting and they're sending out the SMS texts, they're getting responses and setting an appointment. Now we just refine on how they set the appointment and how they follow up to get them to set the appointment. Okay, and we're going to do constant trainings on this stuff to get it perfected. If all they do is set appointments and people show up on those appointments, the presenter is going to be doing their job of explaining things and doing the BRTing, and the right people are going to get into PBS and get going. And that's how they get effectively build their team. And without knowing all the nuances of how to instruct, how to explain all the system and having all the conviction behind it, like our instructors do, they're going to start seeing the proof of the system generating income. The more people they set, the more appointments that show up, the more people we're going to add to their teams. The more people we add to their teams, the more income is flowing as we all make money working together and building together. Everybody's going to be building their PBSs out because that's important. Everybody's going to be doing VMarketing because that's important. And the more of us that we get doing that, and the more that we're setting and presenting, the faster we grow our teams. The faster we grow our teams, the more consensus marketing we're getting, the more we're growing every aspect of the business that's laid out. That's getting rid of all the friction points. That's getting everybody just to show up and do the work. If you don't know how to present, no problem. We have presenters. At this stage of Triple R247, we have hundreds of trained presenters that can present all day. And the presenters are going to gain because it's all part of that infrastructure of the compensation structures. We win when you win. And we can give them the enrollments because they did the work to bring them to us using the leads that Tanya and I pay for. Okay, I wanted to just stress that. Here's the student flow 72322. I'm literally going to put this in I'm going to move it right now. I'm going to make a copy. I'll keep the original and I'll put it back over there if I make more tweaks and changes. I'm telling that myself. And I'm going to put this. I got to find the right folder. I have so many, you guys. I passed it. Lead and VMarketing templates. I'm going to put it in there. So everybody gets access to that, and that's going to be handed down from Niall, Eddie to all the instructors. You'll get access to this flow to understand these points. Okay, it's about duplicating. We're going to be covering this over and over again and perfecting the way we communicate this, because this is what gets people into making money in 2 to 3 weeks. So start to go. They get in PBS on a Monday, right? Their system's going to be set up in a couple of days. I want them to read my book. So say by Wednesday or Thursday, we get on the phone to do session 1. They've read my book. I do session 1 with them that same day. I'm going to spend 2 hours. I'm going to spend 30 minutes to an hour explaining how we work together, how the system works, explaining the 2 menu items on the post, the importance of just getting the post done so it looks complete. I'm going to modify their heading. I'm going to modify the little tagline underneath it, make sure they understand not to change the color schemes around, right? Do what Rory does, get what Rory gets. You want to start changing things around, you're going to modify the ABC, and you're going to get something different. I make sure I stress that. I stress over and over again that I'm not paid to train them. I make money when they make money. And so and we either make money together or waste time together. I am going to stress Hey, we know there's two types of people. We have the broke mentality and we have the wealthy mentality. And it comes from our environment, right? We are 90% of what we grew up in. If our parents are wealthy, we're probably wealthy. They're teaching us how to do things, and that's what we do, right? We want our kids to have more than us. But you don't know what you don't know. And if you have a poor understanding, you can't teach somebody how to be rich because you don't know how to do it. And no one's giving you a hands up. That's what we get to do here. We get to give you a hands up. So we're going to teach you how to do something we know how to do. But you know what? If you have a broke mindset, you want to see proof. You want to see it work before you dive in. And you know what? We have a way to help you get there too. But the wealthy mindset wants opportunity, and they realize the more you put into it, the more you can get out of it. This system is based on absolute, positive, proven methods. Rory built it out. If you do exactly what Rory does, you get what Rory gets. And there's a part, that Rory makes money because he has paid marketing that makes it work better. Just like any business, marketing is what makes or breaks you. Your marketing is going to be paid for you. You just got to receive it and use it. So that if you do everything Rory does, you're going to get everything Rory gets. And you have the ability to do everything there and even more. You have every access point to succeed. You just got to follow it. So either you take time to see it proven out or you jump in and make it happen. And that's what I'm here to do with you. So as fast as you want to go, I'm here to support you with that and even get it to where you won't need me anymore and you'll be independent to build this using all the resources available to you. I stress that. I absolutely do. And then I get that all out of the way before I show him the genius of the presentation that's done by me. If Rory proves it out, he tests it and then he gives it to us. We just copy it, duplicate it, and we modify the verbiage to be our own. Then we start marketing the way we've already been taught how to market. If it works for Rory, it'll work for us. We don't need to know how to create all the marketing. Proper marketing makes sales order taking. We do not need to know how to do that. Rory does it. He proves it out. Not everybody can do that. It's a rare and raw talent. It's something that not everybody can do. We don't have to here because of the internet. We can copy it, put it on our PBS. Rory gives us full permission to do that. And then we just got to modify the verbiage around it. I repeat myself over and over again, right? Repetition is the mother of all learning. I even tell them that over and over again. And then we just go out there and market it the way we're taught to market, and we get to gain the same way Rory does. And we're going to take advantage of paid marketing. So we're going to do session 1. That's what we're doing right now. And I'm going to get you going. We're going to be able to start building your system now. Building out is the hardest part, getting set up. We got to take all the links that are Rory's that are on your PBS, and we got to modify them to make them yours. We got to modify the verbiage around it to make it you as the author so that you can gain in SEO and content marketing. We're going to do ad posting in classifieds and other things online so that we start, priming the pump to help Google recognize you as a valid source of information. We're going to be continuing to do that. It helps draw traffic as well. Then we're going to do social media marketing. Those are the 3 legs of marketing you have. And you're going to understand that when I give you the homework to go through. You're going to understand how the circular marketing and stuff works. Everything you read in Rory's book is going to start making more and more sense as you learn the system, right? It's a system, not a suggestion. All this stuff is covered. You got to cover it over and over again. I gave you the points here. You're going to make it part of your presentation as an instructor. If you're not an instructor, you don't need to learn it yet. You'll learn it as you go, but it's the same process for everybody. Do what I do, get what I get. There's a lot of things to go into with this. You're going to get better at it as you instruct, and practice makes progress. But I'm going to tell them that in session, I'm going to say, we're going to get stuff going now, and I'm going to give you homework to go into session 2. By session 2, you're going to really understand how this all works together, how the marketing ties in, and how it all connects back and forth. And then we're going to go into session 3 where we start making now money. The sooner we get through sessions 1 and session 2 successfully, and we get into session 3, that's where we can start making the now money. I like to be there within 2 weeks based on your needs, or 3 weeks, or whatever is going to be established with the 2 of you. And that's where we get into doing marketing. They don't need to be an instructor to make money. They got to be setting appointments to start making money. They got to participate in the team. It's a team here, not individuals. We work together as a team so we can succeed together. We also put things in place, and I like to cover this. You guys, it's really awesome because, like, if I'm working here and something happens in Niall, Rory, I got to take care of a family emergency. I can pick up his schedule, his calendar, and I know where everybody's at based on the copious notes in the system. I get to take advantage of that, and it helps everybody be better. All right, I'm going to stop this training. This is part 2. I'm sure I'll go into a part 3.